It's time for the annual Kinda Funny membership drive. This year is half over and we've been busy. We've created a membership option that gets you all of the core content at our lowest price ever. We've moved the Kinda Funny GAMESCAST to a daily format, and you've gotten more than 130 Gregways in 2024 alone. If you love what we do and haven't gotten a membership or let your membership lapse, we're asking you to support the 11-person independent small business you love, even if it's just for the month. We've even added a limited amount of pledge upgrades on Patreon that would get your into Kinda Funny Games Daily. This month, look out for free Gregways from the vault on the weekends and weekly public happy hours where we take Patreon member calls live for everyone as previews of what a membership gets you each and every month. We couldn't do this without you, so thank you for your support.
Today's stories include Sony discusses the Bungie restructure, WB wants to license their franchises, and Arcane Season 2 has leaked. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Woo! Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, August 8th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing. Adio A Jr. Joining me is the polite Ric Flair. IGN's Simon Carty.
Is that a good thing? Do I want to be called? I mean, polite's nice.
Polite's nice. I don't know about Ric Flair enough to know what
life,
he's done. I don't think he's Hulk Hogan'd it.
No, but maybe, Can I just be me? Is that okay?
You can be IGN Simon Carty.
There's nothing wrong with me.
As far as I know. Guy?
Our Woo guy? Am I the new Woo guy?
The new Woo guy? Yeah. Has there been a previous Woo guy? Ric Flair, I guess.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
But in the lore of Kinda Funny, I don't think so. No one's really known for going woo.
Well, here we go. This is my thing.
Oh yeah,
now.
people in chat are saying Ric Flair isn't. I think he likes cocaine a lot, but liking cocaine.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. So you know what I mean? No, I don't.
I mean, if that's the worst thing that Ric Flair has done, I
got friends that do cocaine. We're all good. We're all good.
Who? Name them.
I don't think I can. I don't know.
One of them goes woo.
Well, I know one of them does go woo. One of them does do that. Simon, how are you doing?
I'm good. I just had a load of cocaine, so I'm ready to go.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah. How have you enjoyed your week here?
I've had a great time. It's my last day, sadly, but it's packed full of stuff. We're gonna be doing a lot of things together.
We're gonna be doing a lot of things. Things like
you might even beat me at college football at some point.
It's the messed up thing of having you here in the office for a week is that we play FIFA, and I know you're gonna beat me in FIFA because you're British. But the fact that we boot up college football and now you're up 2-0 in college football,
it will happen.
It is a pierce to the ego. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, we'll have to find a spare. I don't know how long does it take. 40 minutes to play a game.
That's the other thing is college football is a commitment. If we're gonna sit down and play a game, you have to lock in, and it's hard to find the time during.
Should we just play that instead of doing the news?
God, I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. Barrett, you know what to do. Press the button that makes college football.
I mean, y'all will have a good 2 hours in between Game Showdown and maybe possibly a little bit more between Game Showdown and the Kinda Funny
little
podcast.
Post lunch,
I did put on what did I put on my schedule?
That's what they call it, isn't it?
Because I meant to make time.
You are doing some stuff on the back end,
and I could do that later. But then there's
one
thing.
The calendar.
Well, it's already in the calendar.
I have to go to the airport.
I have
Blessing 5:30.
Blessing plays embargoed game and preps GAMESCAST. Yeah. Now prepping GAMESCAST doesn't take that long. I could do that in like 30 minutes. It's the embargoed game that I'm like I don't want to play it on my weekend because it's one of the ones where it's
I'm not here at the weekend. So,
but I got plans. I got a board game night.
You need to host the news. This is very unprofessional of you.
This is what we do on Kinda Funny Games Day. We just talk and chat, and people like it.
It shouldn't be me that's getting you in line. I've never actually asked you about shapes. What's your opinion on them?
Like specific shapes or just concept in general?
Go off on it. What do you want to do?
I mean, shapes? I don't want to copy what Tim said, but I do agree about what he said about parallelograms. This is cool concept,
just a
cool
fun
word
thing to say as well.
Very fun thing to say. I'll be honest. I think I care way more about colors than shapes.
Wow.
Like you asked me about my favorite colors, I can give you a bit more passionate answers. I don't know what my favorite shape is. I guess what surprises me actually is
this is an in-depth answer.
When we get into the polygons. Oh yeah, nice rhombus.
Ooh.
Nice rhombus.
Looks good in green.
When we get into, we don't talk about pentagons and hexagons.
What's going on in the Pentagon these days?
I couldn't tell you. I think it's a secret. I don't think they tell us. But I feel like we don't talk about, in school, in elementary school, we learned so much about pentagons and hexagons. What's the one with 8? Octagons.
Octagon, yeah.
But it's as an adult, the only time I'm talking about an octagon is when they're doing the MMA in it.
Yeah.
The only time I'm talking about pentagons is when I'm talking about the government.
when you grow
Hexagon
up,
is when
you
I'm
realize
casting a
that
curse on
only
somebody.
kind of violent and secret acts happen inside of shapes is what you realize, isn't it? Really, if you
Yeah, I
think
guess
about it.
squares have the wrestling.
Circles as well.
What happens in circles?
Wrestling, sumo wrestling's in a circle, isn't it?
Oh.
Or just wrestling's in a circle, isn't it?
I mean, they call it a ring, but
I'm
it's a square.
talking about like sports wrestling, not like WWE
Oh,
wrestling. You know what I mean?
No, you're spot on.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike?
It's all great stuff.
You just came in here to wave? You never do that. It's because it's Simon's last day. Apparently they stayed up all night.
Till like 11:30, yeah.
Playing Overwatch?
Yeah, we did some of that. You can catch them on the stream last night. We also ranked some movie monsters, and we ranked all of this year's Premier League home kits in a tier list, because that's the sort of fun we have.
I got really close to wearing either my West Ham jersey or my Chelsea jersey.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have sat next to you.
I knew it was gonna piss you off.
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't know how much I'm gonna piss them off. The British are very sensitive about that. But enough about all that. Let's get into the show, because remember, this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about, live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or on YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, some of your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. We're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. Today, after Kind of Funny Games Daily, you're going to get GAMESCAST, which is our Call of Duty Zombies preview with Mike, who got to go down to the event, and Parris, who also got to go down to the event. They talk about their experiences with playing Call of Duty Zombies. And then after that is Game Showdown. We're doing it on a Thursday instead of a Friday this week, because we got Simon Cardy in the office and we got Greg out of the office. So guess what?
90% of the reason I'm here is to beat Andy. There's been a lot of Soap McTavish, just slander happening the past few weeks.
I don't know if you're going to get the
defend
chance.
my man.
I don't know if you're going to get the chance to defend Soap McTavish on the episode we're doing.
No, but I just need to beat Andy. That's how I defend Soap McTavish.
Okay. No, that's
by
fair.
absolutely crushing that man.
You're going to want to tune into that, because that's going to be a very fun episode.
Yep.
And then after that is the stream with Mike and Nick playing Stretcher Man.
Oh.
Now, I do want to kick in the door.
Like stretches in you take into an ambulance or like in a war scenario, or is it like Stretchy Men, like Stretch Armstrong?
Like Slenderman? I think it's if I had to guess, I'd say like Slenderman, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if it was like a game where, you play as people.
I think they're
going to
hold the stretches.
You think so?
Do you know what we could all watch and find out and have a great time? Maybe get some of those bits on Twitch. That's what people do, isn't it?
Simon, you nailed it.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go.
This is actually cool.
Do you know what? Those graphics are quite nice.
Yeah, no, why does this look like the best looking video I've ever seen? Why is it so realistic looking?
Wow, this is like Death Stranding 2, isn't it?
I was going to say, it looks like Death Stranding.
I've kind of changed my opinion now. But you know what? It looks fun.
Yeah.
What do you think's happened to that guy? He looks dead already.
I think he's already dead. Yeah. I feel like at this point,
if you're stretchering someone, if they're dead, just pick me in.
If I'm leaning off of the stretcher in that,
if they're already dead, cut them up into bits, stick them in a rucksack or something, or just eat them.
Dexter. What the fuck are you talking about? Went into pure violent mode. Here's the thing, right? We did our weekly meeting yesterday to discuss all the content that we're doing.
I brought a lot of good ideas to the table.
Of course, Simon brought a lot of good ideas to the table. One of the things that I didn't factor in is that today I'm getting that code for 2X KO, the Alpha Lab.
You love those games where you fight people.
Exactly. And so I don't know when that's going to happen or if that's going to happen, but I want to play that at some point. And so we'll see. One of these days I might kick in the door.
We do need to play college football, though, so,
we can
remember that.
If you're a Kind of Funny member, you can get today's Gregway, and you can get Kind of Funny podcast this afternoon and tomorrow on YouTube and on podcast services. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Monster Hunter Now and BetterHelp, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
Woo! A baker's dozen.
Shout out to the Kind of Funny best friend who sent that in. What's their name, Barrett?
That was Mike Deadbrain.
Woo! Mike Deadbrain. I love that.
I think that was like their Patreon name or something like that.
Gotcha. Hell yeah. And then also a woo from Simon Cardy.
Yeah, you're always going to get that these days.
Let's start off with story number 1. Sony details Bungie restructuring as large portions move to SIE, polling from Paul Tassi at Forbes. While there is not a takeover of Bungie by Sony right now, there are large chunks being carved out of the studio that are moving under SIE after it has struggled to be profitable between Destiny 2 and many other side projects, which recently resulted in over 300 layoffs in the past year. Sony president, COO, and CFO Hiroki Totoki has now revealed what exactly is happening with a Bungie restructuring in a recent briefing. Among the details, all of what remains of Bungie itself, about 850 people, will be contained and concentrated into Destiny 2 and Marathon development. There are no plans to stop development on Destiny 2, despite recent issues, though, as behind-the-scenes reporting has indicated, content will shrink in scale for the foreseeable future. Everything else besides Marathon and Destiny 2 will move under SIE. This includes back office functions at Bungie, including many roles that were hit by layoffs, and also other title development at Bungie will move under SIE. This includes Bungie's Gummy Bears project, which is reported to have 40 people moving to SIE in a new sub-studio. But this is the first we've heard that this will apply to other projects Bungie is incubating, of which there are a few more. There is a more general talk about cost restructuring, portfolio optimization, optimizing studio structure, and enhancing efficiency at Bungie. There has been a narrative in the wake of Bungie's serious struggles in the Sony era that joining the PlayStation family has significantly harmed the studio. But from what we know, the opposite is true. That if Bungie had not sold to somewhere like Sony, it would have faced insolvency. And it was able to sell perhaps because it overpromised what it could deliver. Everyone is blaming Bungie leadership for these issues, Bungie devs and fans, and it's clear Sony wants to step in with a heavier hand. Simon, have you been...
it's all a bit dense. There's a lot of words, that, wasn't it?
A lot of words.
Yeah.
A lot of words, including Bungie and PlayStation.
I heard that one.
And what's going on between them.
Yeah.
Have you been following what's been going on with Bungie?
Not entirely. I think it's because I've never been locked into Destiny, so maybe, I'm not, as, I imagine if you're a huge Destiny fan, right, you're getting more and more worried about what's happening to Bungie.
Yeah.
Whereas, I'm obviously worried about these people losing their jobs. That's always a terrible thing. It does slowly look like the inevitability is happening, that they're just going to get more and more rolled into Sony, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to be, a partner studio. They're not going to be independently. They're going to be one of, the PlayStation studios in the near future.
Yeah.
You'd imagine. I don't know what that means for, like they said, Marathon Destiny 2. Like, Destiny 2's kind of, as far as I know, might be wrong. Sorry, was that the final expansion that just came out?
It seems like the final shape that just came out, it seems like is the final big expansion, but I think from here on, you're probably going to get smaller updates.
Mm-hmm. And they've got Marathon coming. Obviously, Sony have been looking to get more into that multiplayer space. Helldivers was kind of a pleasant surprise. They were probably pleasantly surprised by how well it did. Like, probably ahead of the curve on what they were imagining there. But, like, it makes sense if you've got Bungie, let them cook on a multiplayer shooter, right? So I don't think this is going to be, rolling them into a PlayStation studio and suddenly they're like, make us another third-person story-driven game, right? But, I mean, what do you think this Gummy Bears project is? That's what stood out to me.
That's what stood out to me, too.
I saw the words Gummy Bears and I was like, I assume it's not, giant gummy bears running around with guns in some sort of, playground scenario,
Apparently it's a MOBA-esque game, according to the first post I see on Reddit. Hold on, there's a fandom post. In August 2019, Bungie announced that they were working on a new incubation project that would be a team-based action game inspired by several genres in a brand new science fantasy universe. It draws inspiration from fighting games.
Overwatch? Is it another? Is it Concord?
This is what Concord is. It draws inspiration from fighting games, platformers, MOBAs, life sims, and frog-type games, wrapped up in a lighthearted comedic world.
Frog-type games.
Yeah, I mean, this thing says frog-type game. I don't know what that means.
Okay,
hold on, but let me make sure this is Gummy, because I heard of this thing. Okay, no, Gummy Bears is okay. No, so yeah, this is Gummy Bears. The thing that I just read apparently is what this was supposed to be.
Okay,
right now Bear has up a video of.
This is troubling.
What is this?
They look like Gummy Bears.
Song.
Yeah.
I
hope this isn't what that... Then again, I would play this, I think.
Is this like a well-known thing from our childhood? I don't remember this.
Do you think
this was something I knew from my childhood? I don't know if this is going to...
Do you think if this is the upcoming project that Bungie's worth what Sony paid?
Of course, yeah. Oh, for sure, yeah. It's a $2 billion revenue.
It does seem like... I mean, I don't know enough about this stuff to... put any blame. I'm not going to put any blame on anyone anywhere. But, does seem like they paid a lot for Bungie when you think about it now, right?
Yes, and like I think it's a tough situation, which I think flows back to what anytime we have a business conversation on this show, at least in the last, I'll say, year to 2 years, maybe the last 5 years, right? It all comes back to the state of the industry and how things have moved and shifted, and especially in the last 12 to 18 months, how things have just dipped, where I think at the time a Bungie acquisition was a sound idea.
Was it like 2 billion? Was it something like that?
Oh, maybe kindoffunny.com / you're wrong if y'all can give me an accurate number. But I think, the idea of a Bungie acquisition, we talked about this. I think it was strong from multiple aspects. One, you're getting Destiny with that. 2, you're getting future Bungie IP. I know those would have been third party. Those wouldn't necessarily be like Sony Interactive Entertainment or PlayStation Studios necessarily, right? They're owned by Sony, not necessarily PlayStation. But having a control, some kind of stake, I guess, in that, I think is a powerful place to be. And then also the resources of Bungie for, feeding back into what you want to make as your live service plan. They've been talking about this for years. They want to make online live service games more of a thing. Getting that feedback from Bungie, getting that expertise from Bungie, I think is an invaluable thing. That said, I think with how things have turned, maybe they like I don't know if the deal is working out for them as much as they probably thought. Not to say that I think it could also turn around, right? Like I feel like it's like that across the board as far as studios and publishers trying to figure out what's going to make money right now and what's going to sustain them right now. I could see in 5 years, let's say we're in year 4 of Marathon and Marathon's a hit and it's getting all this money. Then it's like, okay, no, you made a good decision. But obviously Bungie oversold themselves as far as like, their resources and what they're able to do.
Right? You've got to kind of do that. But also, like it says here, if Sony hadn't have done that, maybe we wouldn't have a Bungie in a year's time. So, it's hard to... Why don't we come back in 2 years and see how it's looking, hey?
Yeah, I mean, the questions I have with all of this is, like, what do these smaller projects take the form of, right? Like, I think it said that Gummy Bears wasn't happening, right? Because or was it happening, or was it being put in as
I think this one is, isn't it?
I'm thinking actually of the Destiny project from the people that left that were like the heads of Destiny. I think Gummy Bears project, which is supported to have 40 people, is moving into a new sub studio. So it's still happening. I'm curious on what comes of that. Does that still have the Bungie name? Is that a different studio now, right? Like, is that a thing that you're able to foster and turn into something special and like push, or does that end up coming out as something that's under the radar because it started off as this thing within Bungie and now it's like being spun out into like its own smaller studio? I wonder about that. I wonder about similar projects to this that are happening within Bungie. I also wonder about Marathon and the approach to it. Coming off of both Helldivers 2, which you talked about that came out earlier this year, and the success of Helldivers 2, but then also Concord and the non-success of Concord, right? Like, we're a few weeks from that game coming out. It doesn't seem like that game is going to hit.
I'm personally struggling to get excited for it.
Yeah. I'm like, here's the thing, right? I feel like the most vocal people in support of Concord have been maybe me and Andy. And I think even me and Andy are in the place of like, I think the game's fun. I think the game's a good time. But if nobody else is playing this game, then guess what? What am I playing this game for?
The shooter space right now, you can make a perfectly good, fun game. There's no point. You have to be something exceptional to break into the COD, Apex, Fortnite, to break into any of that, basically survive. You need to be doing something brand new or something exceptional. And Concord is a perfectly competent game from what I played. The gunplay's very good.
Gunplay's fun.
What they're doing is interesting. The production values on it are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they're essentially doing something that was done perfectly like 8 years ago. What are you offering that's new? And that's why you got to have some faith in Bungie, right? They've been doing Destiny 2 just 10 years now. I think it's just hit and it's been a success ultimately. Marathon, we've only seen that teaser, right? But God, it had some style. So I don't know, we'll see what Marathon actually turns into. I hope it's good because I want to play the hell out of that. But we'll see if they get the return on that 2 billion, I think it was roughly.
Yeah. And my question with it also just ends up being, what is the release strategy for Marathon coming off of Concord? Because I think with the missteps for Concord's marketing and how it's been presented so far, there's so much to learn. I think one of the big things is pricing structure. Is Marathon going to be free to play? Have they been thinking about it in that context during the development so far? If not, like, is that a thing they could do and have it work and have it pay off? Like, it's such a weird place that I think PlayStation's at with these types of games where leading into Concord, I think we all had the thing coming off of that first debut trailer where we were like, what is this? I can't tell the difference between this and Fair Games and Marathon and all. Like, it all just kind of like flows together. And then we get that second trailer and it's like, all right, like, cool. Like, this looks like other things I played. But for me, again, I come back to the idea of, all right, it looks like it could be quality, though. Yeah. And it's quality, but it's just not quality enough.
Well, that's what, like...
So you're going to need to make something that's fucking that's a banger as like, PlayStation.
If anything that Sony will do, it's give a studio time to make the game right. Helldivers, it was 9 years, basically, in production. I think 7.5 properly in production for that. They'll let something take its time. And that's what they've got to do with Marathon ultimately. I don't think we'll see that for at least 2 or 3 years, at least.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll take their time because at the end of the day, you've got to remember it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is a marathon, not a sprint.
There we go.
You heard it here first.
That was a long run up to that one, wasn't it? So there we go. And that's why I will be leaving today.
That's why the name's Simon the Big Bucks over there at IGN.
Yeah.
Story number 2. WB Discovery wants to license their franchises to other studios. This is Rebecca Valentine at IGN. Batman, Justice League, Harry Potter, Looney Tunes, Game of Thrones, the list of intellectual property owned by Warner Brothers Discovery is massive, and an awful lot of it seems ripe for being turned into a video game. If you're thinking WB's been a little slow to leverage that library, it sounds like the company's leadership agrees and is looking not just to make more of its own games, but to license out some of its biggest franchises to other game studios in the future. Both Zaslav and Perret explained that they wanted to grow the gaming business, especially in the free-to-play space, which Perret says can help balance out some of the ups and downs of the cyclical console industry. Zaslav followed up by noting that not only did WB want to keep leveraging its 11 studios, but that there's, quote, also a lot of interest among others in coming to take advantage of some of that IP for gaming, which we're looking at, end quote. Here's the full quote from David Zaslav, CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. Quote, one of the strategic advantages of owning all of our IP is, as the world has changed, it used to be you launch a movie or you launch a TV series, then you do a game. But one of the reasons that Hogwarts Legacy was so successful in the #1 game last year, you went to Hogwarts Legacy and you entered the game and you're able to become part of that world. That ultimately, I think, is a big piece of where the industry is going. That will create a movie, whether it's Batman or Superman or Harry Potter, and maybe there'll be a TV show. But the ability to go in that world and have that experience of spending time with all the characters is something that we still own. We have 11 studios here, and we have a lot of IP. And there's also a lot of interest among others in coming to take advantage of some of that IP for gaming, which we're looking at. Because as JB said, we need to get bigger. Go on, JB. In the IP that we own and the value that it has in the gaming space is something we're looking to take advantage of.
He likes the words IP, doesn't he? Fucking hell.
I mean, if you're a CEO, that's one of your main words right there. Especially if you're the WB
I hate
CEO.
all these words. IP, franchise, just getting the. I just.
You don't like playing just a bunch of.
I just love
IPs?
just investing myself in a franchise, getting lost in that world, and thinking, "Wow, what an IP." That's what I just sometimes I lay awake at night going, "Wow, what are my top 5 IPs?"
I was gonna ask you what your top 5 IPs were.
I don't know. We haven't got time for that right now.
Mario Brothers.
Yeah. Carry on.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I want to say Sonic the Hedgehog.
You're playing their game.
Really...
This is how they get you.
Listen, what broke me a few months ago was when Disney announced their partnership with Fortnite.
Yeah.
And like, here's the thing: I like a lot of Disney stuff. Right, I do love a lot of Disney stuff, but it was the idea of like the IP of Disney taking over the Fortnite island. And I was looking at it, and it's like, all right, Marvel, Disney princesses, Animal Planet. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't care, man. I really don't care.
You don't like animals?
I do like. I mean, listen, I like some animals.
Who's your favorite Disney princess?
That's a tough question because I love them all.
Okay, wow.
I like Ariel.
Yeah.
Cool. I like Jasmine as well. Actually, Jasmine's probably number one.
Jasmine's cool.
Jasmine's number one for sure.
Yeah. Do you know what they could have done? Just made Suicide Squad a good game?
Is that a possible? Is that like,
or maybe
not make Suicide Squad?
Yeah. Actually, use the studios they own and use what they're good at, and get them to make the good games of the IP they own. Oh, look, license them out. That makes sense. They do own I'll use the word. They do own a ridiculous amount of incredible IP, right? You know, I hate it. I feel sick saying it. You know, it's crazy. It's like, why aren't we getting more Batman games? Why did they just stop making like the Shadow of Mordor games? Like, why did they've got all these incredible things? And I didn't play Hogwarts Legacy, but like I said, it was the biggest selling game of last year, right? And I think the same thing here was he said it was the #1 game because you entered a world. Also, it was a single-player game,
Yeah.
Well, I don't think a real lesson was learned from that, because he's just like, the big lesson we learned from Hogwarts Legacy is that you can play a video game.
This is also a quote from David Zaslav, CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. If you look up a picture of this man hasn't played a video game.
No, absolutely
in
not.
maybe his life. He has no idea what he's talking about.
This man barely knows how to run a fucking company. Plus,
yeah.
I'm not surprised that was the lesson he got from Hogwarts Legacy.
His whole job is IP and also closing down things we like. Yeah, like it's funny. Me and Tim talked about this quite a bit a couple days ago on KFGD because the news a couple days ago was mainly that WB was looking for a stake in this video game business because they've seen a dip in revenue.
Yeah,
everybody has. And it's funny. We got into the whole conversation about licensing out IP for who, like, or it was more of a conversation of selling the studios you have and then licensing the IP back out to them because WB has talked about that before.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about the possibility of WB licensing out their IP to any studio because I think that does get a bit interesting as far as
it's more the Marvel angle, right? With Spider-Man, that's what. It is.
Which I think, and when you have something like Harry Potter that like again had the #1 game last year as far as sales.
Find the right studio for it. I mean,
can see you doing that. I think that is actually a pretty sound decision of like letting other people play in these worlds.
Is they have Rocksteady, which is the perfect studio to make
a Batman
game or just a single player game, and they didn't let them. So yeah, I'm still just really annoyed about Rocksteady and Suicide Squad. Can you tell?
Oh yeah, I mean as it should be.
Yeah,
but yeah, like I mean, I'm so worried when it comes to the WB like game studios because I like so many of these studios, right?
Yeah, like I'm excited for Wonder Woman. I think that could be great.
Monolith is fucking dope, right? Like the Shadow of Mordor games are fucking fantastic.
Just give me why have we not got the Nemesis system in any more games? What's going on here?
Money, man.
What are we doing?
Because
copyright.
Because it was
I know they've
copyrighted.
got it, but just give me like if this. Do you know what? Don't license out the IPs. License out the Nemesis system to anyone who wants it.
God.
That's my pitch. Basically,
don't give them the ideas because somebody's listening to this being like, oh fuck,
That's
actually
why they copyrighted God, a game mechanic just copyright. Fucking stupid.
I don't know, man. It's just so much money. I just get
what studio?
I just feel numb to all this stuff now. I'm just like, it's just money, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Let's have fun with the money.
Yeah.
Right. Rebecca starts her article here with saying Batman, Justice League, Harry Potter, Looney Tunes, Game of Thrones. If we were going through each of these IP, what's a studio that's not a WB game studio that you would want to work with each of these?
Oh, okay. Batman, Rocksteady, no.
And Sonic.
What sort of Batman? It depends what sort of Batman game we want, right?
I would want a Batman Beyond game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who can make a Batman
Can
Beyond?
we resurrect Team Bondi and get basically them to do LA Noire with Batman?
Ooh. Oh.
That's well. LA Noire is one of my favorite games. I have a soft spot for that game. I love it.
And I feel like technology has gotten better. That like the facial like lying system could be better.
I want some more detective stuff is what I want because I feel like they already mastered Batman as an action game. I feel like we got that and it'd be hard to match that. So maybe more of a detective sort of thing.
CD in chat says Remedy.
Just give Remedy anything.
A Remedy Batman game would be sick.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't want Remedy to like spend their time doing other things that
I want them to do what they want.
They're already making so much.
I want that Max Payne remake.
They're doing Max Payne, they're doing Alan Wake, they're doing I think it's a multiplayer project still. They're busy.
You could give Remedy anything, they'd make an incredible game. So, Justice League, I mean, again, what sort of game are you doing here? I mean, do you just do a Marvel Rivals stuff? Do you give it to the Marvel Rivals studio?
I was thinking Avengers.
See, funny enough, I was thinking Guardians of the Galaxy. Which I know, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, but like that game is good enough.
It was a great game.
I think that was Eidos Montreal, right? Mm-hmm. I think if you give that same treatment to a Justice League, could be interesting. The question is, who are you playing as, and like, do people want to play? Like, say you're playing as Wonder Woman in the Justice League game. Do you want it to be that you're controlling that character mainly, and then commanding Superman and commanding Batman? Like, it's like you got so many good-ass characters.
What people really want is to be controlling a shark with a shotgun and killing the Justice League. That's what jumping real high in a city.
Yeah,
that's what they want, and just
hitting the
basically shooting purple blobs for 400 hours and getting some sort of satisfaction.
You know who I want to make a Looney Tunes game?
Go on.
From Software. Spread your wings.
Yeah,
Can you imagine? Elmer Fudd boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he looks all fucked up.
He's all fucked up, yeah.
And like the mechanic is like
we're describing Liza P, by the way.
Yeah, we are just describing Liza P, but like the mechanic is like something to do with Wabbit season and Duck season and trying to confuse him.
That's
what about
really
like
Let me tell you about Looney Tunes Back in Action, the video game.
Get Insomniac on it, and it's basically it's kind of Sunset Overdrive, but in the Looney Tunes world, a bit like Roger Rabbit, but you're a person in the cartoon world going around trying to solve a murder case.
I can't
resurrect Team Bondi and get them to an LA
you
Noir
really want
Looney
to
Tunes
Team Bondi back. Real talk, I can't express to you how much I would be so down for an open world Looney Tunes game. We've talked about this before, where my Looney Tunes love has been like kind of low key.
You've got the Space Jam shirt.
I do have the Space Jam shirt. I guess as low key as you can get while wearing a Space Jam shirt.
Is there ever been a Space Jam like game, like a basketball? Was there?
Not a good one.
Was there a game?
I'm pretty sure there's probably one for Super Nintendo, and I'm sure it was mid.
Yeah, I mean, also Looney Tunes Overwatch game. Basically, any of these Overwatch style like hero shooter.
Elmer Fudd, he's just Soldier 76. He's just who has a shotgun.
You're big into the FUD, aren't you? Like Reaper.
You're a big fudder.
Yeah, you're a big fudder.
That fudder doesn't sound like a good word, but also. But here's the thing:
you're a big Biggie Fudd.
But like when you're a kid, you turn on Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Who's the first villain you're introduced to? It's Elmer Fudd. It's either him or Yosemite Sam, but it's usually Elmer Fudd.
Or Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Is he a villain or is he just hungry?
He's an anti-hero.
That's a good point, though. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I get hungry every day.
Villains?
Am I a villain?
Yeah. Are you in Looney Tunes?
I'd be great. I could,
you would be a Looney Tunes
I could
character.
be a bit of a fudder, couldn't I?
I don't like it. I just don't like the word fudder. It sounds bad. It sounds dirty. Game of Thrones, last one. Didn't Telltale make a Game of Thrones?
There was also an RPG, like kind of not quite like Witcher, Skyrim style, but there was a Game of Thrones RPG game.
CD Projekt Red.
See, I was gonna say Larian.
Yeah, that would be good. But
it's also like
I would say even
you can do better as Larian.
Get like Firaxis on it or something. Get a more
Firaxis actually is a good call.
Get a more strategy into it. Yeah. Good stuff. That was a good chat. Well done.
You just gotta see. That's why they call me the host slash.
That's why they call you the fodder.
That's why they don't call me that. They don't call me that. Don't start calling me that. You just gotta take these businessy IP conversations, turn them into something fun. We play the role of Zaslav.
Is it Gossamer?
Open back up, Rooster.
Is Gossamer just the red furry one?
Who?
Gossamer. I'm right, aren't I?
Gossamer?
Yeah.
The character?
Yeah.
You talking about like is he
like
the one that's in all the fur?
Yeah.
I heard scary. Yes, furry.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Joe, I have.
Oh, you know what I love? Marvin Martian.
Oh, he is
Marvin
great.
Martian.
Yeah.
That was that dude.
I should have brought it with me. I have since like a kid, I have a Looney Tunes chess set, and they're all like incredibly like detailed plastic pieces you can move around, and there's like the villains and the good ones on each side, and
I love that.
It's very cool.
I still have from my childhood the Simpsons chess.
Oh, that's good.
Simpsons chess.
Yeah.
We played some chess, but we played chess during the pandemic.
Yeah, I think you beat me in chess too.
Yeah, I was just in bed playing chess. It got a little bit steamy, I think. Actually.
Yeah. I need the chess rematch.
Yeah. Still, Sylvester the cat's good as well, isn't he?
I mean, is he?
Yeah. Definitely.
Sylvester was no
Porky Pig.
Tom from Tom and Jerry. Porky was cool.
Yeah. He says he does that thing at the end, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's all, folks.
There we go.
I do like when he does that.
Mm-hmm. And Taz is also good. Good stuff. What's
Taz
next?
All right. No, Taz is cool. I'm not going to disrespect Taz. Taz is pretty dope.
No. We all know you're the big fudder.
No. Again, keep that word out your mouth. I'm not sure about that one. Something about it tells me we're gonna get
he's
tweets.
A big fudder.
Oh God, I don't even know if I can.
We got a fudder.
Can I transition ads after he says
fudder? Do you know what? I'm just gonna make sure this word doesn't have like deep, horrible meanings.
I'm pretty sure. Did you open incognito mode to look up fudder?
Yeah, just in case. Just in case. You gotta be careful.
Right? Hold on. You opened up incognito really fast.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm always searching for words.
Incognito. You knew the button for that. Really? You used the shortcut.
This is a work laptop, right? You know. I don't.
You can't be caught looking up that word. Yeah. The F word. What's up, Roger?
Command Shift N.
Hold on. There's no way I'm pressing it. Oh shit! No, he's on it. That worked. All right, cool.
I'll
learn a new skill today.
It might have been an ancient word, but it doesn't seem to really mean anything, which is weird. Yeah, we're good for now. It's our word.
It's our word now.
Yeah.
And guess what? The ads can't get mad about the word fudder. Let me tell you about patreon.com/kindafunny and youtube.com/kindafunnygames where you guys can go and get the show ad free by getting a Kinda Funny membership. But guess what? If you didn't get the Kinda Funny membership, here's some ads.
This episode is brought to you by Monster Hunter Now. There's never been a better time to jump in and play Monster Hunter Now. The game allows you to embark on a global quest in the real world to track down and hunt monsters from the Monster Hunter universe with your friends. For a limited time, earn a powerful Mr. Beast sword and shield, the perfect starter weapon for new hunters via the Mr. Beast quest line. Check this out.
Late for work. Then Monster Hunter. Now. Boring date. Then Monster Hunters. Now. Then. Now. Then. Now. Then. Now. Then.
Not now.
Then. Now. Monster Hunter Now. Hunt anywhere.
Download Monster Hunter Now by scanning this QR code or going to kindafunny.com/Monster Hunter Now. Again, go to kindafunny.com/Monster Hunter Now to get Monster Hunter Now. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Every once in a while, it is important to check in and ask yourself, what are your self-care non-negotiables? When your schedule is packed with kids' activities, big work projects, and more, it's easy to let your priorities slip. Even when we know what makes us happy, it's hard to make time for it. But when you feel like you have no time for yourself, non-negotiables like therapy are more important than ever. Some of Tim's best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com /kindafunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com /kindafunny.
So during the ad break, Jesus Christ, is that coming through the mic?
Only kind of. Hold up your laptop, Cardi.
Yeah, hold it up to the microphone.
This is very important. We've got it in British English. We've got it in US English. We've got it in
I don't like it in
Scottish
US.
English.
It sounds right in Scottish.
It does.
The American accent had some evil intent behind it.
Apparently in Urban Dictionary it says here, it's the act of saying an epic joke in your head. But when you say it, you stutter like Pokey Pig. Pokey Pig? Who's Pokey
Pokey
Pig?
Pig?
I don't know who Pokey Pig is. Is that different to
Is
Porky
that the
Pig?
child of Pokemon and Porky Pig?
I don't know. Basically, it's when, you're
That's
trying
crazy
to say
that they made a
good
Porky
joke.
Pig reference.
That is weird.
It's odd.
Get on with the news.
Everything I found about futters during my studies,
Yeah.
there are multiple matches for futters, including a term used in the cryptocurrency community
We don't want that.
and a collection of NFTs. A term used in the cryptocurrency community to describe someone who intentionally spreads negative information,
That is
fear,
you.
uncertainty, and doubt about a crypto. I'm not spreading doubt about. Well, I guess I am spreading doubt about cryptocurrency.
Yeah. I think it's valid, though.
I appreciate it.
Why don't you tell us about Arcane Season 2, Blessing?
Story number 3, Arcane Season 2 leaks online following major Netflix security breach. This is Isaiah Colbert and IGN. Stephen Colbert has ruined me. Because now whenever I see that last name, I have to say it as Colbert.
I think I would go for that as well.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Full episodes of Arcade Season 2. I keep saying arcade. Arcane Season 2.
Come on, say it right. You've got one job. It's to say words right. Come
Arcane.
On. Looks like you just
Season-
fudded, to be fudded.
I did futter. Have appeared online just a day after Netflix appears to have suffered a major security breach, which saw a slew of fall anime published too. 5 episodes of Riot Games' hotly anticipated animated series appeared online ahead of its November premiere date, and following yesterday's stream of leaked episodes from Dandadan, Ranma 1/2, and Terminator Zero leaked.
Dandadan leaked? Oh, shit.
Is it Dandadan?
Dandadan, I think. It looks sick as
See,
fuck.
I'm more.
Did we get you into the Mob Psycho train? A little bit?
I watched literally exactly half of Mob Psycho, and I loved it. I need to get back to it.
Dandadam seems to be like, if we like my Mob Psycho, we're gonna fuck with this heavy.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Have you ever watched Ranma 1/2, Barrett?
Was it?
Ranma 1/2?
No.
That was like a classic anime. It was like a dude would get like touched by water and then turn into a girl. If I remember correctly, it's been so long. When I was in
like a dream you had. Yeah.
When so like my library at school had like 2 mangas in it. Okay. Ranma 1/2 was one of them.
What was the other one? The other half?
The other. Jesus.
Cardi, can you stay?
It was a
We'll
web.
just keep you, you know?
It was a physical version of a web comic called Mega Tokyo. You guys know
You
Mega
just made that
Tokyo?
up. You made that up.
It was like a gamer web comic. It was like a dude went to E3 and it was about like how gamerish he is.
Wow.
I feel like it's one of those things where if I went back and read it, I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah, probably.
But at the time, I was like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Anyway, those shows leaked. Like these shows, Arcane Season 2's leaked episodes feature burnt-in timestamps for internal use, a for internal use watermark and annotations for music and sound effects. IGN has reached out to Netflix for comment.
Don't watch them.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, Arcane is probably still the best animation I've ever seen. It's absolutely stunning. And to not watch this in all its glory, you're letting yourself down, I think. You know, you don't know with watermarks on. You don't know it sounds like even all the
the sound effects aren't
not
in there.
even finished. You know, just don't do it. There's a little, you know, from me to you.
Still a little PSA. You're doing
Just
yourself a disservice. Not even just
Exactly.
the people that made the show, because like I'm sure the show's gonna be successful regardless. But don't watch this and do yourself a disservice not watching a fully complete Arcane thing. It's like watching a half-done Spider-Verse,
You've waited years for
which is
season 2.
which is
you
watching
can wait another
across the
few
Spider-Verse on release day. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fluttered that one.
Yeah.
But
We're
you know what,
fudding
Les?
left and
I
right.
appreciate it. 'cause
I fudded that
also-
one.
Yeah. If anything, the fudding. We're going to the fudding is now more funny
I think
than the joke.
fuddering, you know?
Oh, no,
fuddering.
I'll say
Yeah.
fuddering.
We get fudder tattoos. We could get like fud. We could get them like so we enjoy it. It's like
When a stranger comes up to you and asks, "Oh, what's your tattoo?" What do you tell them?
I live that FUD life, dog.
yeah.
Fud Life is a sick tattoo, especially if you're a big Elmer Fudd fan.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And get him like just smoking a cigar next to it as well with the shotgun. Just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And then like you turn your hands over and one of them says duck season, the other says rabbit season.
Oh, shit, dude.
Story
you
number
gotta get that now.
Number 4. Ready at Dawn has been shuttered by Meta. This is Kat Bailey at
fudded.
IGN. It's been futtered. Jesus Christ. Ready at Dawn, a venerable game studio that once worked on God of War and Daxter, among other projects, is closing its doors. Android Central reports that Meta is shuttering the studio effective immediately, with employees being encouraged to apply for other positions within Oculus Studios. The closure follows Meta's decision to discontinue Echo VR in 2023, which coincided with major layoffs impacting a third of the studio. Oculus Studios had previously acquired Ready at Dawn, which had found success with the Lone Echo series to develop VR games for its platforms. Quote, as many of you already heard, this morning, Ready at Dawn Studios is closing its doors. I've been at Ready at Dawn for over 10 years, and I'm incredibly sad to see this wonderful team I've grown to love be broken apart this way, designer-director Robert Duncan wrote. Quote, that said, at least for now, I'm trying to focus my effort on, and let's be honest, distract myself by finding solid places for all my dear friends to land. If anyone has any leads/positions they'd like to share, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'll try my best to get in touch with you, get you in touch with good folks that might be interested, end quote.
Can we just go a week without closing a studio?
I'm saying, this is one of those ones that, like, Ready at Dawn, you know, they made a transition as a studio. They started making VR stuff, and then they got acquired by Meta. And so, like, they became less, I guess, visible as a studio, at least to, like, the mainstream audience that's not playing VR games. And it's crazy because, like, they made The Order 1886.
Yeah. Which still have you seen that? Not a great game by any means, I don't think.
But like a
still,
visual stunner.
Yeah, it's incredible to look at.
And that was, like, one of the most anticipated PlayStation titles of, like, 2014? I forget when it came out. Yeah. But like there was a lot of anticipation for
there's
a
lot of talent. There's a lot of talented people.
And they're also you shouted it out the article shouted it out. They made, I believe, I just want to make sure. Yeah, they made the PSP God of War games.
Yeah,
you know, like Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta. I would argue are some of the best in that original era.
They've been a really flexible studio, and I feel like they've never been able. Maybe recently they have with the Echo VR games, but about to settle. Like they spent. Making PSP games is one skill set. Making the Order 1886 was a completely different challenge. Then they went on to VR. It's a completely different challenge. Yeah. It's like there's obviously a lot of. I don't know how many of people have been there the whole of that duration or a lot of it, but there's obviously a lot of talented people there. That it's just like can we just stop closing the studios, man?
Yeah. Everyone in the chat says Bless was 20 years old. God, I can't talk today. Bless was 20 years old back then. That's not like I was 5 years old. I was aware when I was 20. People were obsessed with my age.
You were fudding.
I was out there fluttering
Prime
around.
fudding.
Y'all need to stop obsessed with my age, all right? Leave me alone. But yeah, no, this is a really sad one. Like this one bums me out because like you guys mentioned, right? They're making the God of War PSP games. They're making Daxter. They made Order 1886.
Yeah, they were a core part of like PlayStation 15 years ago. You know.
Yeah. And so unfortunate. Of course, our hearts go out to people who have lost their jobs, and of course, this sucks to hear or this sucks to see. And also, I think there's a conversation there as far as if you're Meta and you're shutting down Ready at Dawn, which I'll say is probably one of your main VR studios.
Like, what's your plan?
What's your plan? Yeah, like you just put out Asgard's Wrath 2 not that long ago, and that had like rave reviews. That was very successful as a VR game, at least critically. You're coming off of that, and you're now closing down another VR studio. Are you going to try and double down on this, or is this you being like, all right, VR's done?
Yeah, it's like the VR space. It seems like there's a lot of short-term thinking in the VR space, especially when you look at PlayStation VR 2. They released a whole new console and then don't support it for 2 years, essentially. You know, it all seems a bit weird, but yeah.
Story number 5. Wolfeye Studios has provided the first look at their next game. Now, Cardi.
Hello.
I did forget to write down the title or the person who published this article. I believe it was Eurogamer.
Okay. I mean, why are you asking me?
Because I'm trying to stall time while I Google.
It sounds like a massive FUD.
I fudded this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on. I'm going to Eurogamer because I'm pretty sure it was them. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the article. I'm going to ask you to see if you can find who wrote this article.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Just copy and paste the text into Google. Will pop up.
Yeah.
As teased earlier this week, Arcane founder Rafael Colantonio.
I think it's Eurogamer.
Eurogamer, thank you. Do you know the name of the author?
Catherine Castle.
Thank you so much. Has today unveiled the first details of his next game at Wolfeye Studios. While the game's name is still under wraps, this new project is a first-person action RPG that's set in an alternate America in the 1900s, marking a shift in time and perspective from the top-down isometric sandbox towns of Wolfeye's debut game, Weird West. As the studio also previously teased, the new game's visuals will be grounded in a retro sci-fi aesthetic, and if the first 3 in-game screenshots didn't already give it away, Colantonio, who's creative director for this new game, and executive producer Julian Roby, tell me over a video call that both its gameplay and art direction are intended to be, quote, something like Fallout meets Dishonored.
Woo!
That's where we want to be. We want to be in that space, Colantonio tells me, quote, if there's a such thing as a continuum between Fallout and Dishonored, I would say Prey is somewhere in the middle because it's already more RPG than Dishonored, and this new game is somewhere closer to Fallout as far as the RPG-ness goes. End quote. That means you can expect a lot of quest objectives such as investigate about that thing, infiltrate that building, Colantonio explains, but with any approach you want. This can range from very, very direct approaches, perhaps utilizing the new weapon mods Wolfeye are making for this game, or more indirect methods, such as talking your way in or out of a scenario with the game's speech options. All classic RPG fare. In other words, which Colantonio and Roby hope will, quote, add even more layers of possibilities to the game, which is really what we've always been about, end quote. As for when we might next hear more details about Wolfeye's next game, it likely won't be until next year, when Wolfeye are planning to run a private alpha for it, signups for which are available now. Quote, we're still discussing the details for it, Roby says, but whatever we call it, we want to make sure that before we release the game, we get the community involved. The studio put on a similar test for Weird West, but Roby admits that they did it way too late before release, and we didn't really have time to act on the most major feedback, hence the desire to bring in players earlier this time, so they can better act on any potential problems. With pre-production now complete, Wolfeye will now be moving to full production while they search for a publishing partner. Of course, I cut down that article from Eurogamer. There is a lot more you can read on Eurogamer because they did the full interview with them, getting into even more details on their thought process behind the game. But this sounds very exciting.
There's a lot of words in there getting me excited, blessing. I'm getting very excited.
Words like Dishonored.
Words like Fallout, Dishonored, speech. My favorite thing in game, favorite thing in life, getting out of sticky situations with my tongue.
Yeah.
By speaking.
Oh.
By speaking.
Oh. You futtered that. I think you might have futtered that one.
They also mentioned Prey. Incredible game. Basically, we're getting a new Arcane game.
I'm so excited for it. It being first person is the thing that sold me. I respect Weird West, but Weird West wasn't my kind of game for just a perspective of it.
If you give me Dishonored, you give me an immersive sim like that, but also the ability to use like Fallout style, like, you know, speech options, charm people, you know, that's what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah. They're describing my perfect type of immersive sim.
Exactly.
Again, like I think there's a strong audience that you can target here that are that crossover between people who, like a Dishonored game, like a Deus Ex, right? But like a lot of these games aren't coming out as often anymore. Arcane Austin just got shut down, so there's no hope for a new Prey, really, right? Like, and I think there's an audience, a strong audience that wants these things, and so targeting that. Also, in the midst of no Fallout coming out on the horizon, as far as we know, right? Unless a different studio aside from Bethesda's working on it, it doesn't seem like there's a Fallout coming anytime soon. So to be able to hit that specific niche, I think is a strong move. I'm looking forward to this.
Very excited for this. Very.
And I think this is going to be a very big game.
You'd hope. You'd hope. Then again, Arcane's games never have necessarily, not that this is Arcane, but most of the games are, notoriously not big sellers.
But
if they can latch on, I think that's what they're doing cleverly here, is using words like Fallout, using words like RPG, making people more expect something more like that, rather than go, to the masses, a new Fallout game is more exciting than a new Dishonored game. Although
would you say Deathloop was big?
Not sales-wise, no.
But if I wanted something smaller, the tiniest news I need to know about.
Do you want to know where you'd go?
Where would I go?
You would go to Our Last Story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
How much did Deathloop sell? I'm looking it up.
Do you know what's great about that? In the script, it said co-host reads, so I knew that I had to read it.
Listen, some people, Greg Miller,
people prepare.
Greg Miller might have deleted before when it said co-host reads.
Sounds like
in
you're
the template.
kind of passing the blame on there.
I'm just saying,
it's really easy to pass the blame on someone who isn't here.
I'm just saying,
taking care of the
He will be listening to this probably.
When we made the transition to doing GAMESCAST every day, Greg went and redid the entire KFGD doc. Before
he did tell me if I outperform you on this show, then I am taking your job.
Oh God, please save me, Simon. Get me out of here.
I don't want it.
Does your
I quite like mine. Does
your IGN position open up?
It's not a swap.
You don't want to swap? I want to go to the UK.
No,
you can live
I like
San
my
Francisco.
job.
I love the idea of me and on the IGN UK podcast every week. Just the most American man.
We'll get you on sometime.
Oh, I'm down.
Yeah. You'd have to wake up really early, but or you just come over to the UK.
I want to.
What's easier?
Wii News from VGC. The Callisto Protocol director Glenn Schofield has said that the game quality suffered because publisher Krafton insisted on releasing it too soon. In an interview with Dan Allen Gaming via PC Games N, the former CEO of Callisto Protocol developer Striking Distance Studios said Krafton had given him reason to believe that he'd have more time to complete his vision for the game, only to go back on its word.
That's not ideal.
That's not ideal.
No.
And also, I guess so. That's one of the ones I want to be like a fly on the wall for. If I can go back and see what those conversations were, because we hear this all the time about publisher vision versus developer vision, and publishers wanting a thing out by a certain time, but a studio might not being ready to put out that game. I think.
Do you think more time? Did you play much of the Callisto Protocol?
Yeah, I played through it. I played all of it.
Do you think, for example, an extra 6 months would have fixed the problems with that game?
No.
I think it was fundamentally flawed.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I think. I know there's maybe some issues as far as how that game ran, but that wasn't one of my main issues with it. And in fact, I came out of the game liking that game, but I do think the things that people didn't like, I agree, were just fundamental.
And I think they also had the problem, right, that the Dead Space remake was on the horizon. They needed to get it out before that. Before people were reminded how good Dead Space is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Vampire Survivors will be coming to PS4 and PS5 on August 29th. Stray launches November 19th on Nintendo Switch. Dragon Ball Project Multi, a Dragon Ball MOBA, has been announced for mobile and PC.
How many Dragon Ball games are there in the world?
Not enough. A regional test is running from August 20th through September 3rd.
Are you going to be in that test bus?
No, I don't play MOBAs. Even honestly, MOBAs are the one genre where you can put my favorite franchise in a MOBA. I don't think I'll play it.
Even Looney Tunes MOBA?
Yeah, fuck, a Looney Tunes MOBA does sound kind of neat. I'm not gonna lie.
We got him. We got him.
Got Bugs Bunny out here jungling. I don't know what jungling is. Just futtering in the jungle. Borderlands the movie is currently sitting at a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's not ideal, is it?
When I woke up, it was at 0%.
Yeah.
It'll get up there. It'll rise.
I'm not surprised. But there we go.
And then Splitgate 2 has had a gameplay reveal. There's a video if Barrett wants to pull it up. People want to see the first gameplay of Splitgate 2.
I don't want to pull it up.
No? All right. Barrett doesn't want to pull it up.
Oh, he's done it. He lied.
I didn't want to do it, though. I didn't want to do it.
Well, this is.
It looks like Splitgate 1. All right, sick. Actually, that looks fun. I like Splitgate a lot.
Yeah, it
so
was really fun. Like the week that we were.
This
really
gameplay looks really realistic. These guys sitting there playing those graphics.
Those are real people.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, no.
Wow.
That's not like when Ninja Theory put out those pictures and everybody was like, "Whoa, what an office!" And they're like, "We made this."
Do you remember that
unreal."
weird state of play they did where everyone thought they were like AI, like they were holograms of like.
I still
people?
think they were holograms.
Really?
Because that was like GDC.
Why bother?
Because it was GDC. It was the beginning of pandemic, if you remember. It was like that March or April.
I don't know. Is it?
And you need a scramble. It's fucking Mark Cerny standing up there with a bunch of black silhouettes. Those aren't real people.
We'll never know.
I don't believe it.
We need to ask the questions about them.
And that's it for We News.
That it? We done?
We're not done because guess what? We got a bunch of super chats for you. All right, people are excited that you're on, Simon. So let's talk to them.
We don't know yet.
Ariel Knight says, "I really want Suda51 to make a cozy game. What developer would you like to see make something outside of their wheelhouse?"
Ooh.
A Suda51 cozy game, I think, could be cool if you took if you played No More Heroes like 1. If you took like the parts of No More Heroes 1 that are just you like being in the town and like playing with your cat.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could maybe make a cozy game out of that. That said, I don't know if it would be a good one because those are not the good parts of No More Heroes 1.
I think it's a weird one to try and pinpoint. You have to pick a developer and then.
Me a From Software Looney Tunes game, dude.
Yeah, that probably is one. We kind of already did that. Yeah, we've kind of already done this, but that'd be a good one. I'm trying to think. What could Rockstar do? I do like Rockstar games.
Table tennis game.
Yeah, they've never done that one before.
Yeah,
have they? Yeah.
Open world racing game.
Resurrect Team Bondi. No. I haven't thought about Team Bondi in a long time.
We don't talk about Team Bondi a lot.
No.
We don't talk about LA Noire enough, though.
No, it's so good. It's so fun. Genuinely one of the funniest games ever made. When you can just accuse that guy of, you know what I'm talking about.
Because he just looked weird.
Yeah, just accusing people.
He did a cheek thing.
It's almost as funny. There's a really good Sherlock Holmes game, and in those games, there's like multiple cases you can solve. And at the end, you can like accuse who you think did the crime. And there's one where you can just mistakenly send like a young like 10-year-old boy to get hanged for a murder he didn't commit.
Jesus.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I'm trying to think. I had another studio in my mind. I already lost it.
Yeah.
Think
about throw you off the rails.
You threw me off the rails. I'm not gonna lie.
That'll happen.
All right, we got another one from Yang Fan that writes in and says, "Any board game recommendations? Bless." Here's the thing.
Looney Tunes chess.
Looney Tunes chess. But also, if you're gonna ask me for board game recommendations, you gotta tell me like, what do you like? Do you like social deduction? Do you like super like more complex games?
You like your classics?
Do you like your classics?
Yeah,
like chess.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want something more crunchy and more like
crunchy,
if you want a thinker, something more competitive with your friends, there's this game called Scythe. Think like a management style game like Catan, where you're like building up resources and stuff, but more complex, and it has mechs in it. And who doesn't like mechs?
Mechs are good.
And so Scythe is cool. If you want social deduction, I mean, I'm a big fan of One Night Werewolf. I know it's basic, but it's a really fun one. I was at a birthday party a couple weeks ago, busted out One Night Werewolf. It was a hit. Yeah. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Barrett, what's up?
I just wanted to shout a very cool casual one that I think you'd be really into is Arkham Horror. Very casual, very easy.
There you go, Arkham Horror.
I like Connect 4. Simple.
Connect 4 is great. Connect 4. Are you playing? Let me ask you this, Simon.
Pirate. Have you got Pop-Up Pirate over here?
You can't just make up things, Simon.
No.
No, when you're making things up.
Bring up Pop-Up Pirate.
There's no such thing as Pop-Up Pirate.
There is. It's a little bit like Buckaroo. Do you have Buckaroo?
Shut up. What the fuck are you talking about?
These are real things.
No, they're not.
Yeah, okay, Pop-Up Pirate.
I've seen this.
Yeah, Pop-Up Pirate is
Pop-Up Pirate.
It's a little plastic pirate in a barrel, and you basically take turns at putting in the swords.
Yeah, I've seen this guy.
So you don't know what Buckaroo is?
No.
So Buckaroo is a horse.
How do you spell this one?
CKA. There we go, Buckaroo.
We should have let Barrett spell it, because Barrett started off with 2 C's, and I wanted to know where he was going with it.
You basically it's another one. You take turns at putting things on him, and eventually he'll kick up. Yeah, there's a Toy Story. There's a Bullseye version. That's good. I might get that. Okay. Another one of my favorites is Screwball Scramble.
Okay.
I'm not making these up.
See, it's funny because
Scramble.
The question I was going to ask you, Simon, is like if you go on a first date with somebody,
that's not
and you're at like a board game shop or something. What are the board games you're bringing? Are you busting out? Are you like, hey girl, well, let's play some Screwball Scramble?
Scrabble.
Scrabble
is good.
Yeah, but Scrabble might reveal how dumb I am.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
the idea. You're just putting down fodder. That was extinct 200 years ago.
There's a fun, I forget what it's called. It's like Scrabble Go or Scrabble Blast or something, where it's like a quick version of Scrabble. I did play that one time on a first date.
Yeah.
It was a hit. It was great.
Yeah, good. It's a good tip there for anyone looking for that.
Kebab says, FYI, the You're Wrong form is broken. Let's open that up and see. I'm open up.
I don't think we were wrong.
No, it's here. No, the You're Wrong forum. I mean, I'm seeing responses to things we talked about today. So
maybe you were wrong. I don't think I was.
Maybe we've blocked kebabs from there. Who knows?
I mean, kebabs do be in there a lot.
Yeah.
Why'd you say kebab and not kebab? Because it's a kebab. Where's the O come from?
Oh, this is one of those British things.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it is. I think it's
I'll be talking crazy over there.
Like you can say A in very different ways in words in American English because we're fucked up.
Kebabs.
Kebabs.
How do you spell? Well, I guess you do spell kebab like kebab.
Kebab.
Yeah, Simon might be onto something.
Kebabs, let us know.
Yeah.
Kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Who knows?
I'm not
Does it
wrong
work for you.
Herbie in the chat says it's a U.S. thing, not a British thing. Nah, it's a British thing. It's a British thing. Trust us. You know. MCap in chat or in the super chat says pouring one out for Ready at Dawn, who never got their due. The incredible PSP God of War games, the Order's sheer potential, Lone Echo, super impressive. R.I.P. R.I.P. indeed. SD Turtle says if you're like me and waiting on the Prince of Persia Lost Crown on Steam, it's on Steam now and it's 40% off, making it only $29.99.
I do need to play that game. That's one on my list of when it comes to the end of the year ones I should play. I need to get around to that.
Is it out today on Steam? Like, was today the release date?
I'll probably play it on Switch. Seems like a good Switch game.
Prince of Persia.
I mean, you're going to need to type in more than that.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I do need to type.
Go incognito. You never know what you'll find.
What's the quick quick command for it again?
What? Oh, it's silent N. I don't know.
All right, I went to the Steam page for the 2008 Prince of Persia. I'm not getting the answer.
I normally have only one hand I can use when I need it, so I just use the mouse. You know what I mean?
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. M Night Shamanamana says, "Who's your team, Cardi?" Yes, I love the shirt. Bless. Who's your team?
As in like football. As in like
I assume
soccer.
The British football.
Tottenham Hotspur Spurs. I have a season ticket. Season kicks off in a week and a half. Very excited. Getting back into it.
Every person I've met, right? Every British person I've met, when I ask them what is your team, it is always the Hotspurs.
Is it?
And maybe I'm just meeting a lot of people from the same area.
But you know,
because like Barry, isn't that Gary Whitta's team also?
He was wearing a cap. I did notice it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's every. Is that two people?
Who does Alana root for?
Liverpool.
Okay, first of all, Alana's Australian, isn't she?
She still watches football though. What?
I'm talking
from a different.
No,
what?
I'm saying the British people I meet. Because of course, if you're not from the UK, you're gonna vote for You're gonna go for a real team like Chelsea. You know what I mean? You're gonna go for a real team like Manchester
you don't
United
know how
or
ignorant
Liverpool.
You sound.
Stop
making a fool of yourself.
The Tottenham Hotspurs. This guy.
It's just Tottenham Hotspur.
The Tottenham Hotspur. There's only one.
It's not the. Yeah.
What about the RKG boys? Who do they root for?
Daniel is a Blackburn Rovers fan. They're in a lower tier at the moment.
Okay.
We have like hundreds of teams in the UK, so we have tiers, right? Are we really getting into all this?
I mean, that's what it's about. That's what we talk about here.
Tottenham
Hotspur.
I always start hopeful and I end up sad. So that's life, isn't it?
That is life. Cardi, let's make you sad by going into kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, where you write in and let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Mara writes in and says, Blessing's pronunciation of Don to Don was the correct one.
Was anyone doubting it?
Well, Barrett said Dan to Dan.
Oh, okay.
But I'm also a fucking idiot.
I would have gone Don. What would I have done? I think I would have gone Don to Don.
I mean, for me, it was a flip the coin.
Yeah.
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 And then we got one more from Graham the Lamb, who says, oh, God, there's a problem. There we go.
That's what he said?
Oh, no, my Google Sheets says there's a problem.
Ugh.
On the word fudder, I'm Scottish. I'm Scottish, and fud or fudder has always been slang for being a bit slow or stupid. I don't like that. I presume that's why Elmer Fudd has his name in a sentence. He says it in a sentence. What you dayin that for, you fud?
There you go.
What you doing?
Yeah,
what you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like you could do a better Scottish accent. Probably.
I'm not doing it though.
No?
I'm not gonna do it.
No? Y'all got beefs with the Scottish? With
No, I just told you, I'm not gonna. It could end up very bad.
okay. Fair. And that's it for kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Simon, thank you so much for joining me.
This was
episode.
a treat, wasn't it?
This is a journey for sure.
Yeah.
It
We've
was
got
something.
a lot. It's not ended yet though. We've got more.
We do have more. Game Showdown coming at you soon. But before then, of course, you have a GAMESCAST to watch. And it is the Call of Duty Zombies preview with Mike and Parris Lilly. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, you can follow Simon on his social media. Follow his work at IGN. All that good stuff. What's your at?
At Cardi Simon.
At Cardi Simon.
There we go.
Of course, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or on YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy the GamesCast next and the stream after and Game Showdown between those two things. But until next time, Game Daily.
Woo!